I don't know.
Oh, some of us have to run a school district, you know? We can't retire and just talk all day.
I don't know about you guys. I'm totally cool to transition to politics if you like.
Oh,
No,
let's not go there.
Your religion?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
This is being recorded, so that could be interesting.
Yeah.
I
right,
don't
Corey,
want
let's
to be fired.
Start in.
Sure. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. As a lot of you know, a lot of our superintendents are exceptionally busy right now with coming back to school with all the things they're managing. So right now we do not have a lot of attendees, and we're worried that they're not going to be able to hear your 3-minute pitches and be able to determine which breakout room they want to go into. So what we'd like to do is, being I am recording this, would like to invite our 5 corporate partners that are on here. Do you guys feel comfortable being able to expand your presentations to say about 9 or 10 minutes each?
Sure.
And then what we can do then is just have everybody go. That'll take up about the hour. We can, we'll be recording this. We'll be sending it out to everybody who registered, plus, you know, our entire database, and asking everybody to watch. And this way, you know, you'll have a little more time to talk to everybody too. And, you know, for the couple of attendees that are here. So you kind of get an opportunity to kind of have everybody join in, if that'll work for everybody.
That works.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, let's see then. Why don't we get started with PresenceLearning? Michelle and Andy, if you want to kick us off. Oh, and also everybody can share their screen. So if you have a PowerPoint or a website or anything like that you'd like to share, go for it. And you, I'd say you have about 9-10 minutes.
Great. I will go ahead and start. Hi, everyone. My name is Michelle Brownlee. I am a School Partnership Director with PresenceLearning. Andy Meredith is my colleague. He is joining us as well. I will just take a couple minutes to share what we do. We were originally going to do a little bit of just a couple minute intro and then break off. So Corey, what you're saying is we're not going to do the breakout rooms. We're just going to do this for now. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. There's not right now. There's not enough people to even do breakout rooms, so I think it'll just work out better to do it this way.
Okay, perfect. So I'll still kind of go over what I was going to share with you. I don't know, have any of you worked with PresenceLearning before or heard of PresenceLearning?
Yeah. I don't know if we have everybody muted or not, so.
Okay, so I'm going to just kind of chime in, and I guess I could go ahead and share a couple slides real quickly. Not going to go through everything, but I'll go ahead and share a couple here. Let's just take a look. Keep it kind of informal here. This is how I felt on Friday. I don't know if any of you else felt the same way, but so much going on, so many decisions. Literally on Friday afternoon, I was like, I don't think I have the energy to get up. I'm just going to put my head down. But what I am also feeling is a lot of inspiration of schools really working hard to solve a lot of challenge that they have. And PresenceLearning is able to help with a couple different problems, or we offer some solutions. I'm going to put those solutions into 2 categories to keep this brief. The first category of how we can help schools is we offer teletherapy services. PresenceLearning is a live online teletherapy company. We have speech therapy, occupational therapy, school psychologists to complete psychoeducational evaluations, and counselors, behavioral and mental health services. So that was option 1 of how we can support, is we can help with those services. The second is we have teletherapy and teleassessment training and platform access. That means that your school-based teams can participate in our professional development, have access to our platform, tech support, and parent resources. So kind of now going back to what PresenceLearning is all about. We've been doing live online teletherapy for 11 years. We've completed over 2.5 million therapy sessions. Yes, this is a little bit of bragging, and I don't really want to do that. But I think that in this time of school closures, when everybody's making decisions on how they're going to meet the needs of their students, just knowing that this isn't new for us. It wasn't like schools closed and we were like, oh, let's just fill a need. This is something we've been doing for a long time. This platform opportunity is new for us. Andy, if you want to keep track of time and tell me when to stop, that would be great.
We're good.
The platform offering is new. Okay, so why Presence Learning? I already brought up 11 years of experience. We have a whole team of clinicians to help. We have this platform in which we're able to do assessments. I think that is probably the biggest thing that I get asked every day is, are you able to help with assessments? Can you complete valid, reliable, defensive assessments? The answer is yes. If you would like to hear more, reach out to me or Andy and we will share more information. We have actually partnered with Pearson, Riverside, formerly known as HMH, in getting these assessments available for remote delivery. We've been doing speech and OT assessments since, oh gosh, I think for about 8 years, and psychoeducational evaluations for 7 years. Excuse me, not 7 years, since 2016, but I've completed over 7,000 assessments. I'm just going to fly through these slides. I mentioned that option 1 was where we provide the services. Like I said, there's speech, OT, behavioral and mental health services, which is a super exciting new offering for us of doing these behavior intervention groups. Super exciting online psychoeducational assessments. It is so challenging for districts to fill this need. And Andy and I both, like I said, this is probably where we're getting the most questions, because folks really want to make sure that they're getting caught up from the fall or from the spring, and that they're done well. And I think that that is really one of our strengths. How are we helping support schools with regards to the services? Or why, I guess I should say. Some districts are having us just do assessments because they're behind from school closures and they feel very confident in our ability to do so. Some districts are saying, hey, can you please help support our current staff by taking a little bit off at the top? Maybe they're SLPs or OTs that used to be able to handle, you know, even a 70 student caseload, while some of their peers maybe had 55 or less because it was a different population. With school closures now and the inability to do in that push-in type model or larger groups, their current staff is feeling stressed. I can guarantee you what you don't want to do right now is probably lose any of those team members. So some districts are having to say, like, hey, can you take 10 to 12 students off of each of our on-site providers? I'm just going to click through right here. I'm going to get back to this in a minute. Others are having us take entire caseloads. Maybe they lost clinicians due to early retirement. They're taking leaves for various reasons. And then others were helping with compensatory time. So what I just went over as quickly as I could was that first option where our Presence Learning providers deliver the service for your students. That's our traditional model that we've done for 11 years. Fast forward to March of 2020, the year we'll never forget, when schools started to close. We pivoted in March and offered that second option that I brought up, and that is where districts are able to lease our platform. So it includes training, access to the platform, tech support, and even some support for parents, meaning that we have some information and things to really support them in logging into therapy sessions. Our platform was uniquely and deliberately designed to deliver special education for K-12 students. It follows all of the guidelines for HIPAA and FERPA compliance. The assessments are built right in. It has so many interactive materials. This is just a quick view. What I was going to do in my later session was give you a demo of the room a little bit and kind of dive into it. It's really fun to see. But for now, because of shortage of time, and just to give you an overview, and please know you can call us later and we'll spend more time with you. But this is kind of what it looks like. So if any of you are familiar with the Woodcock-Johnson, this is the Woodcock-Johnson here. Here's our student. This is what I would call a typical school model. If the student is at home, yes, we can have the parent be this support person at home and still administer reliable assessments. This is what I hope that PresenceLearning can help you accomplish over time. That you go from, and your team and your folks go from this stressed out, overwhelmed to feeling a place of some sort of relief. It's been, just to kind of slow it down a little bit here, it's been quite kind of an honor to be able to help schools find these solutions. We know that all of your districts are different and have different needs. So we're able, feel free to ask us lots of questions, see if there's a way that we can help. I just want to leave you with kind of the understanding that of how I just said it's going to look a little bit different for everybody. Keep in mind that it is the platform all-inclusive, okay? Andy, how are we doing on time?
At about 2 minutes.
Oh, well, I'm going to actually pause back on this screen of everybody in this relaxed Zen space. And anyone have any questions that won't take more than 1 or 2 minutes for either Andy or myself?
Well, Michelle, this is Tim. I have a couple, but one in particular is the complementary reducing caseloads seems like a very nice entrance into a district, especially when people are overwhelmed with everything going on. So that sounds like a really nice way to partner with a district from the beginning. That seems like an effective model.
Yeah, Tim, you're absolutely right. And we really try to actually, partner with them. Some districts are having one of our PresenceLearning providers pair up with that primary support from each school site and sit down with them and say, hey, which students would it be helpful for us to support? And, at the end of the day, Tim, we want to help you and your staff stay happy and your retention and enjoying this crazy time. Yeah, Rusty.
Yeah, Michelle, you said that we could lease the platform. So unfortunately, your timing is not very good because I'm hiring counselors, I'm hiring extra special ed folks to do it in person because we are a school district that has kids on campus right now. And but it's intriguing. I'd like to know more about what the lease platform is, where we have the employees to develop or to administer it, but it would be nice to see what that's like via distance.
Yeah, absolutely, Rusty. We'll reach out to you and give you that information. Some districts are saying, hey, we are hoping to open soon and either like some sort of hybrid model. Some are opening more fully than others. And this kind of gives you that way to provide services no matter which phase you're in, and whether we go in or out of that phase, you can have that consistency of services. And if you have some students that are choosing to not return for whatever reason, or even switch that, some staff, it can keep that flow going back and forth. So Rusty, we'll reach out to you and give you some more information on the platform.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. All right, I think that was probably at least, if not more than 10 minutes, Andy. I should probably stop, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Michelle, you outstanding leadoff hitter. You're like Ricky Henderson. Rusty, that's Ricky Henderson plays baseball, by the way, if you didn't know that.
Hey, I know who Ricky
did play
is.
baseball.
He actually played basketball too. He's a heck of a basketball player.
Yeah. Yeah. Michelle,
I did not know who he was, so thank you.
Oh, no.
Maybe, hey, we're in San Diego. Let's say Tony Gwynn.
Okay, there we go.
Right. Another good one.
Way to set the bar. The shark liked it.
Thank you for the shark, Tim. All right, I'm going to go on mute and turn it back over to Corey, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, and next up, let's have NutriStudents K-12, Amanda and Eldon.
All right. Hi guys, I will jump into this. So I'm Amanda with NutriStudents K-12, and then Eldon is the president of NutriStudents K-12. So we are going to tell you a little bit about our program. I'm going to try
I will let Amanda do the talking. She is the intelligent one in the crowd.
You're
And
too
try to be
kind.
quiet. I am from Minnesota, and I've heard what you guys think of the Midwest, so I'm not going to say anything more. I'll listen.
Oh.
Just kidding.
So I'm going to try to condense. I want to let you guys know everything, so I'm going to do my best to condense it. Michelle, you did great. So I have to follow your lead. Here we go. Let me screen share. All right. So who we are. So actually, with COVID-19, the wildfires, all of these three things that are being thrown at us for 2020, NutriStudents K-12 has really found a way to pivot and continue to help our clients be profitable, stay afloat, but most importantly, feed the students. I think once the shutdown happened, a lot of the students, the big concern was feeding those students who could not eat at home and typically ate at school due to poverty and things like that. So we have really pivoted our already amazing program to fit those scenarios. So we're big on pivoting, we're big on helping, but one thing that a lot of people and school districts don't know is that your food service can be a profit center. We are here to help and show you how. So NutriStudents K-12 is the only company that guarantees increased revenue by increased participation, reduced food cost, reduced food waste, reduced admin time, especially now during these the COVID pandemic. That extra time is invaluable for sanitizing, finding different ways to serve, all those things that keep being thrown at us. And then we ensure a registered dietitian, certified USDA compliances on all of our menus. So we offer 40 complete menu weeks, over 100, but 40 complete lunch menu weeks. And these are all built out, analyzed, USDA compliant, but we use commodity items first. So by using commodity items, we're really cutting down on cost and reducing food waste. That will in turn increase your revenue. And also it creates a greater buying power for your distributor if their market basket that you're ordering from is, say, 550 SKUs total versus 1,000, 7,000, whatever your current situation is. But we want to make sure to increase revenues in every way, but increase participation, reduce food waste. So this might not mean anything to everybody here. It might not be your department, your area of knowledge or care or anything, but this here can save you thousands of dollars. This idea, it can create a surplus for the food service department to be profitable. Like I said, we have 40 complete menu weeks. This is kind of an example of what our menu weeks look like. Chef created them, so they are kid approved, chef created. We have different tools that will help save time. So for example, our food production report will save 4 to 5 hours in admin time per week. The certified registered dietitian signs off on all of this, so it's legit. We back it. We have different marketing tools that we like to use, and I'll go through those here quickly. But those are just some aspects of how we save money, increase revenue. So this is one of our reporting. This means probably nothing to anyone who sees this, but for the person who has to do this daily for every meal that is served, it's time consuming. It takes about 30 minutes per day for the person on staff to fill in all of this information. And they might have 1 or 2 people who are in charge of different forms, such as this. So 30 minutes a day it saves because we semi-automate all of this information for the food service department, which in turn will save about, we like to say about $5,000 a year if one person is in charge of all of this reporting. Kids eat with their eyes. We're huge on this, this idea. Kids eat with their eyes. This is like the Toys R Us magazine. You take this home, you circle all the food you want to eat. you plan to eat, you put it on the fridge, it's there. It's like those toys, you circle them, everything you want. It's kind of the Christmas wish list, but you get this monthly. So the idea there, our kids are going to have this in front of their face and not bring lunch, but eat lunch in the cafeteria, which will increase participation. We have posters that can be printed out, put on a screen, different, whatever you want to do with these pictures, you can do. If you have a creative eye, we're there to help make that possible. We have different tools that will help with the ordering and increasing, obviously, revenue, but reducing food waste. You waste food in your food service department. If your food service department is wasting food, you're gonna obviously lose money. So this here is a commodity calculator. It's amazing. The typical food service director will spend about 30 or more hours a year trying to figure out what they need to order for their commodities, which they order in the beginning of the year. So you have to really sit down, plan out your whole year, put in your order at the beginning of the year for all of the meals that you're going to serve throughout the year. It's a hard task to put on anybody, and there's a lot of room for error. So we have this commodity calculator, very simple. You put in your student count, the start and end date of school, how many times you're going to be using each one of our menu weeks, hit enter, and it'll populate how many of each commodity items that you are allowed or that you will need for these menu weeks that you're using. So it's about 90% accuracy. The USDA is, I guess I've heard that ordering commodities through them is a bit tough. So we say 90% because some things are out of our hands. You might get cheese in the middle of the year that you plan to get at the beginning of the year. So with that, that's why we say the 90%, but it's no fault of our own. So it's kind of at the hands of the USDA. Value adds, like I've been mentioning, saving 2 to 3 hours per week on our cookbook, which scales recipe to the student count. So say you're cooking for 200 kids, you type in 200, it'll tell you what recipe it'll tell you how much of each portion of the recipe you'll need based off of that student count. And it's live. You can change the number constantly. That is very popular with our clients, and it reduces food waste amazingly. The commodity calculator I just showed you saves over 30 hours per year. We have different promotional aspects, a newsletter that we create and give to the food service department that they put their logo on and send it to the parents. So just really saving on those little admin tasks that the food service has to do that takes time away from actually serving the kids we want to help with. We are endorsed and strongly supported by the AASA, which is the School Superintendents Association. We have a very good relationship with them. So we just really, really back our program. Countless case studies, I can go on and on, but since my time was cut short, I won't bore you all with the case studies, but just a really good example, a small school district, Hanover Public Schools. They were really struggling. They reported a 25% increase in participation. Within the first year, the food service director and business manager love us. They loved us, they still do. Staples Motley School District was a troubled food service department. They were constantly in the red, just struggling. They came on board with us, and within the first year, turned their whole department around to be in the green. Whereas at year 3, had a $90,000 surplus after they bought a refrigerator and a warming oven. So instead of that poor food service director having to go to the superintendent or business manager, whoever she went to, and beg for money to buy this oven, she was in the green and didn't even have to worry about any of that, which made everybody down the line or up the ladder happy because they didn't have to find money coming from other areas to take away from. So just so many case studies, testimonials. Prairie Seed Academy had a revenue increase of 40%, which, just to put the number out there, is $112,000 a year that they had an increase of their revenue. So they had a surplus of that. So I can go on and on about these amazing stories, but if you come on board with us and you don't feel that. You don't see this, you don't see the numbers or any reason. We back our product and our program, so we have 100% money back guarantee. No matter what, you call us and say, hey, this isn't working out, no questions asked, we'll refund your money. We just really stand by our program, and we really want to help. We don't want to lock anybody into something that's not working for them. But we just really feel passionate about what we have to offer, and it's really legit. It's not smoke and mirrors. So just some more testimonials. We have a lot of testimonials from different people. So food service directors, business managers, but even parents. Parents see a change in the food service department once they come on with NutriStudents K-12.
Amanda, just want to let you know you have reached your 10-minute limit.
Okay, I was just checking. I felt like I'd been talking for a little bit. So thank you everybody for listening to us. And then we do have some free offers if you want to log into our website and check them out.
Great job. You know, that's an amazing idea. I never had school food look like that.
It's delicious.
Do you do consortiums with smaller schools, like, you know, instead of just district by district, do you combine like a group of small consortiums on contracts?
Sure, we can definitely do that. I've done that in the past. So we're open to, a lot of our clients are actually smaller districts. 5,000 students and below are our target market, because we take the place of a registered dietitian and nutritionist. That's what our program does, which the smaller schools typically don't have those on staff. So we kind of fill that void.
Great. Well, great job, Amanda. Way to put it out there. Eldon, you did great, Eldon.
Best job I've done yet this week.
All right, Corey, who's up next?
Let's have Tony and Terry from Development Group.
Yeah.
Great.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. So I'm going to kick it off really quick, and I'm going to hand it over to Tony. Let's see here. So I'm Terry Kurtzepis. I work for the company as the senior sales account manager and education technology advisor. I spent most of my history in my career as a chief technology officer for various school districts, from very large like Sacramento City to very small like Mill Valley School District. So I used to be a happy customer of DGI's, and now I'm a very happy employee in working with all my old colleagues and friends in the education industry. So just really quickly about DGI, I'm just going to share my screen before I hand it over to Tony. Let's see here. Does not want to share. Okay, not necessary. So we are a California K-12 focused technology integrator. And like I mentioned, I worked with DGI for many years as a customer where I needed help augmenting my staff's abilities, be able to roll out implementations of technologies as education and technology environment shifted to the latest things that we were worried about. So now in the COVID-19 era, we find that the reliance on infrastructure, classroom technologies, internet connectivity, bridging that digital divide now between students and the technology devices and capabilities is more now than ever. So what we do is, as a company, we work with all the different manufacturers and OEMs like Cisco, Meraki, HP, and so on down the line, to be able to leverage our corporate buy and be able to give small school districts an affordable way to purchase that technology and support it month to month. We do everything from network and security all the way to TVs in classrooms, digital devices for students, especially now at home, and internet connectivity at home. So with that being said, I'm going to hand it over to Tony, who will give you a lot more detail on our current offer during COVID-19.
Thank you, Terry. Let's see where to start. So this pandemic has ushered us into maybe a little bit of a reactive mode in the tech space. So most of our customers who are in the small school district category, found themselves sometime in March really starting to adopt this distance learning program, and struggled maybe with connectivity, maybe with Chromebooks, maybe it was content sharing, maybe it was trying to get on a cell plan. anyways, every district had its own unique set of hurdles to overcome. And now that we're, into it for maybe 6 months or so, a lot of those pain points have been at least triaged. There's at least duct tape holding the thing together. What most of our customers are facing currently is the inability to service that solution. What you'd find is you have a myriad of solutions out there. You have kids with their own internet. You have kids with district provided internet. You have MiFi hotspots. You have Chromebooks. You have different software platforms for delivering content, et cetera, et cetera. And what you're finding, or what we're finding, is the IT staff for these small districts are being overwhelmed. So in some cases, currently we're working with a customer that has 1,500 calls a week. Another district they're a little bit larger. They're about 15,000 size, but they have something like 2,000 calls a day. Sometimes these are students calling in, third graders looking for support, why they can't get a hold of their teacher, and really it's a loss of instructional minutes. When you try to put together the distance learning package, you see everything from, as I mentioned earlier, the Chromebook sitting on, little kid's desk, all the way to, the cloud infrastructure of the district and the supportability of the entire solution. Fortunately for California, Senate Bill 98 was passed, which offered up some money, approximately $5.3 billion, to be spent on various things like health and human services and food and nutrition programs, and as well as technology, in order to continue education. That time frame is still extended out until December 30th, and so what we're trying to do is help districts maybe relook at the duct tape solution, which was a good solution to get everybody through the immediate crisis and need. But now what we're expecting is some amount of sustained mixed environment, where you have students attending remotely, maybe for some period of time, at least some portion of the students. And if that's going to be the case, the IT departments of your school districts definitely need a more supportable, sustainable plan, long-term looking forward. That could mean anything from, an increase in infrastructure spend to adoption of different content sharing platforms, or a long-term solution for connectivity, especially for those rural kids. So what we've done is we've packaged together a series of products that can be purchased a la carte, but they can also be purchased as a bundle by working with some of the largest OEMs to work out a price point that will be beneficial to school districts. When you're a technology company like DGI, you tend to be in the middle of all the transactions. So big OEMs want to sell stuff to small schools. Small schools need to buy stuff from big OEMs, and companies like ours usually fit the boat there. The problem is small school districts tend to have to buy in small quantities, which really decreases their buying power and makes our company's effectiveness at negotiating good pricing very difficult. But by working with SSDA and hoping and helping to bring together a larger picture of spend and a more standardized offer, we've been able to negotiate some pretty serious discount prices that will let small districts buy some of these solutions as if they were large districts. And that's pretty significant. I remember talking to a gentleman named Phil Neufeld out of Fresno Unified, and they were discussing the price point they were able to negotiate around a Chromebook, and it was honestly awe-inspiring. He's buying Chromebooks at $100 a pop. Similar Chromebooks were being purchased by other districts at around $200 a pop. And that just gives you an idea of the scale, that's really driving pricing in the industry. It's been frustrating for our company because these small school districts, of course, are already under-resourced and oftentimes understaffed. So to have to actually spend more, per device as well is just really a shame. So we've standardized the solution, we've packaged it. It's called our Distance Learning Bundle. And what we have to offer immediately, that's probably the fastest way to maybe stop some pressure on the IT department, is just augmented services. So what that looks like is IT staff that are certified and trained, have been working with school districts for over a decade to help your teams support the influx of IT calls. You have trouble tickets mounting, kids can't get to the internet or can't get to their services. So that's an immediate right now you could take advantage of. In addition to that, the host and myriad of various components that end up building the distance learning offer. That's everything from Chromebooks, like I said, to connectivity, to content sharing, to security, et cetera, et cetera. In addition, we built middleware to package around some of these solutions that allow for either a decreased administrative effort for Proposition 98 reporting on attendance, as well as some automated versions of that as well. So if you're working on trying to fill out your new SB 98 attendance form from the CDE, you'll notice there's synchronous and asynchronous learning and all of these things. And a lot of that's being done through a distance learning content sharing platform like the one we're all on today. Unfortunately, there's a lot of limitations to what those platforms can deliver. So where your SIS system like Aries or you pick might be able to automate the reporting engine, it still needs those inputs, and those inputs have to be done by teachers. Did my kid come into class? Was he engaged? Did he leave the class? Then there's the problem of asynchronous learning where the WebEx, the Zoom, the UPick, isn't tracking and reporting for you. So we have a middleware that's packaging that all up and pushing that out in a format that's deemed acceptable by the CDE and is adaptable to whatever your district's formatting is. Let's see, what else? What am I missing, Terry?
I think you hit the nail on the head. So to just follow up on that, as I mentioned, I'm the education technology advisor and account manager, and I field phone calls from superintendents and directors of technology, pretty much every day now around the issues with distance learning. The number one thing right now is the inability to track and keep up with, as Tony mentioned, the trouble tickets, the calls for help from students and families doing distance learning at home right now. I just got off the phone with a superintendent from a small school district in Yolo County saying that very same thing. We're underwater and we can't keep up. So I think in March, basically everything hit and everyone had to change the way they did things. As a IT leader in K-12 for so many years, I would bring forward my things to superintendents and my cabinet saying, okay, let's look at video conferencing. Let's look at how we service, and deliver technology anywhere, any place, anytime. And at the time, we didn't have the funding for it. We didn't have the capability for it. And now we've been thrust into this thing and the world has changed and it's not going to go back. Our communities and our students are going to demand, the ability to receive content and be educated from any place, anywhere, anytime. But that opens up a whole nother, Pandora's box, so to speak, in terms of being able to have all these systems work together, to be able to, I also always used to say in my departments, we're always being asked to do more with less. So as a company, as a K-12, focused technology integrator, we want to do just that. We want to help integrate. Whether it's today's COVID-19 problems where we need to have reporting for SB 98 pulled out of the LMS and into the SIS and then off to the CDE, or just be able to field phone calls from kids right now saying I'm trying to log in, or my son is trying to log in and cannot. What do we do? So DGI wants to offer that to small school districts in a way that is affordable and reactive and timely for today.
Terry, sorry to have to interrupt you, but your 10 minutes is up.
Okay.
Oh, Tim, you're on mute.
You're muted, Tim.
Terry, I just wanted to say, a lot of ed tech people are going to be very safe in their employment for years to come. I think this explosion has really solidified that world, and you guys will have to keep pace with that. Thanks, you guys, so much. Appreciate it. Who's up next, Corey?
Next up, we have Jordan and John from Boardworks.
Rusty, do you have a question?
Well, I got a comment. And when you look at small school districts, you were talking about Fresno and the scales of economy. Most small school districts are not getting those dollars that Fresno Unified's getting. So just understand that what you're offering is awesome for small school districts. I just want to put a plug out there that most small school districts do not have those unduplicated dollars that most school districts get. And so we struggle, we pinch pennies, and unfortunately, the cost savings should go to the small school districts, not those large school districts, because they get those extra dollars to afford that. We don't.
Totally agreed. You know, if you don't mind, I forgot to add one thing that I think will help Rusty. Our company understands that, actually, working with mostly small schools. So what we've done is we've offered a no payments due until the end of the year, just to maybe help hold up with the cash flow issues while trying to negotiate through the tight budget times.
So you know what's happening come spring, right? The school districts won't have any money because of the deferral. So I don't know if it's a smart move on your company.
Well, we'll take that risk. We want to help out.
Thank you so much. All right, Corey, who's up next?
Yes, so we have the Boardworks. Jordan and John, you got your 10 minutes.
Got it right there.
10 minutes. We're going to set our timer.
Oh, he's got a clock.
Well, that's right. We're gonna, yeah, we appreciate everybody's, this is awesome today to be able to do this. This is great. I am Jordan. This is my colleague and much, much older brother, John. I was going to ask you who's older because generally they say me and I get upset. So he is my older brother, John, and we work together with Boardworks Ed, and we're coming at you from Pennsylvania. So pretty far away. And I think we were part of the sports conversation. You heard some of that. So what we're going to do, folks, is start out with some questions. Okay, so I was sitting here thinking, and we had a 3-minute pitch ready to go that would have blew your minds, but now we made it to 9 minutes. So we're going to do a couple questions. And honestly, I want thumbs up, thumbs down, or just give me some verbal feedback. Let's make it quick. How about this? How many of you are one-to-one right now with devices?
Even if they're on back order.
Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah. That's helpful. How many people are using Google Classroom or something similar across the district?
Any LMS.
2 for 2. Any LMS. Okay. How many of you know that teachers are stressed out right now? Okay, cool. I'm 3 for 3. I'm done. That's it. No. So what we're going to do is share our screen. I think we can address all of those things right now. All of those things. I know we can address all those things. And I'll just give a quick background. And there's John's family. I'm just going to kind of say how we got to this point in California, why we're talking. When the pandemic hit and all this focus is around the pandemic, we had a nice partner in the National Rural Education Association. If you ever heard of Alan Pratt, who runs that great group, that's how we got introduced to some other states. And now we're working with a ton of small schools with Boardworks Education. Boardworks Education is K-12 teaching content for classroom technology. And Don's going to go to the next slide, and we are going to kind of describe the current landscape. I taught for almost 10 years in PA, and this is kind of what I see. The current landscape right now is those one-to-one devices. And just like the last group said, they're not going away. Devices will only change and keep coming to school. So there's a ton of devices. Also on top of devices, there are assessments. You can go to another ed tech product right now, and they're going to collect data. They're going to assess students and collect data. They're going to assess students, collect data, and they're going to put students in front of the computer for 30 to 40 minutes at a time. I know that. John knows that. We both have 3 kids each, and we've seen that over the last 6 months. The last thing I see in the current landscape at ed tech is platforms. A ton of platforms, really cool educational technology that can do this, that, and the other. I'm really, really clear here to say we don't really do any of those things. What we do is content. Okay, you can picture us like an interactive library. Imagine how textbooks used to be. We're a K-12 platform of ready-made interactive presentations that is so stinking simple to use that all those stressed out teachers right now can start using it tomorrow. So as we go to the next slide, and I'm going to let John go after this one. This will be my last slide for a little bit. Go ahead. No, that's good. So we do that highly interactive supplemental K-12 resources to enhance teaching and learning. In a moment, folks, you're going to actually see the resource. I want to show you the resource because it's really important. If the resource stinks, we could talk all day. It wouldn't matter. And our goal is to empower every teacher to engage students to improve learning. That's key right now. Our goal is to engage and empower the teachers to then filter down to the students. A lot of the assessments and platforms out there are student-focused. I really am, really strongly believing that we empower those teachers first. Okay, I'm going to hand it over to John, and you can kind of talk us through what we're looking at.
Yes, what we're looking at, Jordan made that very clear. We are just a library of content ready to go at teachers' fingertips. It's like opening up a door where they don't have content. Now they have content that works with every modality. And you can see these GIFs on my screen, and Jordan's going to show you here. This is what Boardworks looks like. Ready-made at their fingertips, 25,000 slides of core content K through 12 that every teacher has access to for life. We work on every device, and how we help is super important. If you remember anything, we're about optimizing the effective use of existing technology because everyone has it. We work with a ton of rural schools across the country. Some of the biggest pieces of feedback we hear is, man, now our teachers have 25,000 slides at their fingertip. Every teacher has them, not just the super tech savvy teachers. Greater consistency. You can edit the slides. You can customize them for the needs of your EL, special education, for RTI. We're designed by teachers to be really simple. We do the PD. Jordan and I do PD sessions all the time for free. Here's the big thing. We are affordable, incredibly affordable. We have an upfront cost. We're not subscription. We're completely unique in that. We've been doing this 20 years. We've been in the US 9 years, originally a British company started by a teacher. And we've experienced this kind of growth because we don't take schools' precious funding every year. You buy Boardworks one time and you have it forever. So you have an effective solution that every teacher has that works on every device, and you're not paying year to year. And we certainly believe that when you empower teachers, you engage students, you enhance learning, you can keep teachers teaching. There's some excellent programs out there that are self-paced learning modules. My kids have used some of those. But when we talk about, we're paying teachers right now, and not every teacher is ready to pivot. And we know tech use is not going away. It's only accelerated right now. Students are digital natives, but we can empower teachers so they can teach, whether it's face-to-face, blended or hybrid, or completely remote. They can stay in the driving seat in terms of instruction. Cool. I'm going to stop my share so my brother can share his.
Let's do it. All right. This is where we show the content, folks. If you can see my screen, give me a thumbs up.
Yes. You have 417, by the way.
Thank you, Rusty. Okay, I'm going to log in. This is really cool. I log in as a teacher. Guess what? Students will never get username or passwords. I repeat, students will never get username or passwords. Students can log in with a presentation code. We do not collect student assessment. We do not collect student data. We do one thing and do it really well, and it's interactive content. So I logged as a teacher. I'm in a demo account. In that demo account, you're going to see, you're going to see ELA, science, math, history. I'm just going to very quickly click on middle school science, right? And now I do have Ohio standards here. I know we're not in Ohio, but again, I'm in a demo account. You're going to see next generation standards, next generation science standards populate. And look at all this content. We just have presentation after presentation. You can click in the standards on the left-hand side and actually get really specific and find presentations aligned to that standard. Teachers can use this tomorrow. If they don't want to do that, they can obviously search by keyword. A lot of people that are doing Teachers Pay Teachers or YouTube right now, this is going to be definitely an upgrade to what that might be, because we're going to let teachers teach through this content. So let's just go ahead and take a look at what the content looks like. If I'm in a middle school science presentation, I have the thumbnail view here. I can start off by showing an experiment, a digital experiment. And I could do this face-to-face. I could do this remote. I could do this in a screencast. I can do this in any teaching modality. And I'm getting students to challenge their thinking on how would I set up and conduct an experiment. Now imagine I'm doing this over a Zoom. I can actually drop copper onto a Bunsen burner and watch the wax blob drop off in a simulated experiment. Now, if you're thinking back to your days in the classroom, I can do this for any subject area. There are activities to engage my students with drag and drop activities, videos, multi-stage animations, and we give teachers notes on top of that to help their lesson planning. This is where I get excited. If you can tell, I love the fact that this content is built on a slideshow. It's simple to use, and it can integrate with every device that you have right now and any learning management system that you have right now. And there are multiple ways to do it. So let's say I'm teaching this content, I'm explaining how heat transfer takes place in conduction, and I want to say, guys, we're going to stop at slide 7. I want you to work asynchronously, remotely on this in Google Classroom. All I need to do is simply go to that content level, and then I would hit Student Session. I would copy it, go to my Google Classroom, and students at home without a username or password can actually go to this presentation.
Minute warning.
Type in the presentation code, and I'm like Tom Brady. 2-minute warning is good for me. And then I can just simply go down to the link and actually access this content anytime, anywhere. That's one way to share the content. If I want to do it live, synchronously, I can actually click on this live session, and imagine this. Imagine a teacher sharing a live session, and every device in your classroom is not a word processor. Every device is going to join inside one of these presentations. And when the teacher clicks through and they go to slide, let's say 15 or 14, they can all manipulate this interactive graph together. And they go to slide 15, all student devices move in real time. So really the heart of my message is this. This content's great. Teachers can share it any way they like, and it's all at one-time cost. I'm going to stop my share. get within our time limit, and John's going to talk about how we're priced out.
Yeah, we have 1 minute. It's our 1 minute warning. In the chat bar is a link for a personalized demo. You're going to want to do that because you can see the pricing right here. We do pricing on enrolled students per building as an upfront cost. So you can buy it per module, or you can look at a suite. And one thing I want to say is we have 45 seconds. If you're a school that falls under 200 students for the elementary side, it's $14.99 a content area. Middle school and high school, these are the content areas available. $19.99 a content area. If you start to look at a suite of products, you get an immediate 25% discount. We will offer an additional timeline discount as a member of the California Association for anything done before October 8th. We have 15 seconds right there. So the takeaways are very affordable, every teacher, every student for life. For a personalized demo, use that link in the chat. We're good.
Wow,
Look at that.
well
Look at
done.
that.
Well done. Rusty and I used to have to grab lesson plans out of garbage cans to get through the day. That's pretty amazing. Does anybody have any questions for them?
Yeah. Tim, hey,
Yeah.
I think I like the guys from Philadelphia.
Yeah, I like us.
You probably get a Philadelphia Flyers jersey.
No.
Thrown in.
I want a 76ers jersey.
Yes, you're speaking our language
Rusty.
now.
You got to trust it.
You got to trust that process.
Yeah, thanks you guys. That was really, really well done and very exciting product. Really exciting product.
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much.
Who's batting cleanup?
And then, yes, we have Jennifer Butler from SitelogIQ who's going to wrap us up today.
Hi, everybody. Poor Superintendent Irving and Superintendent Clark. If you guys leave, won't hurt my feelings. So, hi, everyone. Thanks for your time today. I'm going to go really fast, and I'm going to do the same thing that my previous speakers did and ask really quick, thumbs up, who is paying PG&E? Yeah, everybody. Okay. So I am going to go as fast as I can. I'm going to share my screen. Can everybody see that?
No, we can't see it.
Okay, let me try again. I'm having some screen difficulties today.
And you should be able to. Yeah, no, I still don't see anything.
All right, let me try this again. How about now?
There we go.
Okay, great. So I am going to talk to you today about how to use your, I'm just going to do it like this. Everybody okay with that? Can you guys see okay?
Yes, yep, you can see it.
Great. Okay, so today I'm just going to talk a little bit about all the challenges that a school district faces, whether you're small or large or medium, and how you can leverage those funds that you currently pay for your utilities, whether it be gas, electrical, or water, to leverage those savings to pay for some of the deferred maintenance items that you have. And even as you know, when we see new cool items that we need to use to address our new COVID expenses, how you can be healthy fiscally. And yeah, so let me just go through that. Can everybody see that? I guess it's kind of weird because I can't tell if anyone can see that.
Yeah, it looks great.
Great, okay.
Yeah.
So some of the common challenges are HVAC, antiquated control systems. We have pathogen mitigation, shade structures. There's no shade, no outdoor eating, lighting, and energy consumption. So these are challenges that every district faces regardless the size. And there is one great solution that some districts are taking advantage of, but not every district. So anytime you are paying your PG&E bill, realize that you could be using that money to do what's called a bundled project. And you can address some of these outstanding deferred maintenance items and you can bundle them into one project and use the money that you're paying PG&E to instead do these projects. So I'm going to go through my slide on how to do that. So how does it work? The idea is that there is no new impact to your current budget, and that you're already paying for what it would cost to do the budget. You're just not getting the benefits of that. So most of this is done through what's called an energy services agreement, which is a performance-based contract where your partner helps you identify your financing and develop a scope of work, all of which the scope will be to reduce your energy use, and will help you find a financing model to do that. And so you ask, what is an energy services company? An energy services company is a company that can identify energy savings and do the work to install and implement those energy saving measurements. So an energy services company is going to look at all types of systems on your campuses or campus if you're real small. And we do all your energy audits, your design engineering, and all your construction and commissioning. And so it's really important to know what the benefits are of looking at saving money for your district through an energy project, is that there is no new money. So that's really important. There were a lot of districts that went out for bonds this last year, and very, 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 very few that passed. And so you're not asking your voters or your stakeholders for any new money at all. All the costs for the project are rolled up into the energy savings. And the real long-term benefit of doing an energy project is reducing your overall operating costs. So operating costs are HVAC failures, utility costs, all kinds of failures in your system, your lighting. So it brings all those deferred maintenance items up to 21st century. It also gives you enhanced reliability of operations. So some examples of that right now are, we have a lot of districts that are fire zones, or have the public utility mandatory safety shutoffs. So it gives you a chance to address some of those and an opportunity to keep your district open when it might otherwise be closed, but it also allows you to have consistent heating, cooling, and airflow throughout your district. And also an energy services project is at no risk. And the reason why that's at no risk is because your energy services company is going to guarantee those savings, both in production of new energy or reduction of your current energy. And new energy could be through the way of solar, but they're also going to make sure that you're able to guarantee your cash savings. And so this is a very attractive option for many of your board members, because they want to see these improvements happen, but know that there's no liability for the district to take on new debt or debt from the general fund. It's also really nice if you're a small that has more than one school. It's really nice for your staff to have a standardization across the district, which will allow them to help maintain and operate your district or your classes more efficiently. So I'll just go quickly over procurement options. Right now, we're looking at funding for your project. It's always eating into your operational budget or your capital budget, or you have to get some type of bond or levy or grant. This is just a great way to look at funding school projects outside of those traditional sources. And I'm just going to leave you with this because this is a better idea of how that works. So this is the cost to the debt services to do a project. And this is a fairly large one. Sorry. But here would be the cost to have a tax exempt municipal lease, for example, or a COP. Here's the cost to maintain if you were to do solar. Here's what your district could potentially save off of your PG&E bill each year. And then your operation and maintenance savings because you're not having to repair that failing equipment, etc. And so then you actually have cash flow positive year one. So this is, again, sorry about that, a bigger project, but it's not out of the realm for a small. So this is a $23 million project that is getting all new HVAC, solar, lighting, controls, engineered infection protection. They're getting ionization units for COVID and air quality. And they are going to be doing 23 million, and first year they're cash flow positive 18,000. So that's 18,000 less to PG&E than they currently pay. And by the end of 30 or 25 years, they're $31 million positive to the district. So if you haven't looked at an energy project, take the time and just reach out. You have nothing to lose. All we do is we look at your utility costs and we're able to do a really high level analysis and determine whether or not you have savings to be had and what deferred maintenance items we could do in that place. And lastly, I want to talk a little bit about ionization units. These are a very low cost unit that goes into your HVAC. It has a 20-year lifespan with no maintenance. And it has the only thing out there currently fighting specifically COVID-19. So this goes into your unit, kills COVID-19. It is a very great product. It's in a lot of districts right now. It's going in like crazy. It's the only thing that we're recommending as a HVAC company for COVID. As far as a long-term pathogen mitigation. It does also contribute to some energy savings, and it is an excellent product instead of a MERV 13 filter, which a lot of people are being recommended to install, which actually only catches particles. This specifically catches pathogen, and that's what you want. You want pathogen mitigation. And I think I can be done. And that's it. Any questions? That was painful.
No, that last one was good. No, and the CDC released something today on more airborne pathogens and how it's even more unpredictable than they thought, and they pulled it off the website again. So
yeah.
they're confused. Great job.
Yeah, and just so you know, it's extremely low cost, and if you have any CARES funds, it's reimbursable by CARES. I think 70 or 75%, Linda knows.
Yeah.
But you have to go quick, but it is a great product. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, definitely. And not just for COVID, all the other things too.
Yeah, mold, smoke.
Yeah.
Kills the smoke in the classroom. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Hey, we're all got scratchy throats in California. Hey, does anybody have a question for Jen? All right, Corey.
Tim.
Hey, we talked about food, technology, curriculum, facilities. It's all good.
All great topics. So yeah, so this has been great. Thank you all so much for your time. I did want to announce too that 5 lucky participants for today have been selected to receive $150 student scholarships, thanks to all of our corporate partners' generosity. So the winners for this session are Rusty Clark, Brenda Ramirez, JJ Lewis, Liza Butler, and David Vucevic. So you guys will all be receiving $150 student scholarships from us for this session. So with that, thank you guys so much for all of your time today. Sorry we went a little bit over, but I think it was all great information that you guys gave, so it was certainly worth it. And we will be sending this recording out to everybody who registered, and we'll also be posting it on our website as well for people to view.
Awesome. Go Canadians.
Thank you all so much for your time today, and have a great week.
All right.
Thank you, everyone. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.